How y'all doing? I'm the Watchman, and this is the Devil's Ten Commandments. The Devil's Ten Commandments. Before we get into it, I want y'all to pray for three individuals. You know, the first individual is her name is Tiffany Negron. Tiffany Negron. She's had a horrible life on these streets, but God has blessed her and has been with her, blessed her with a strong spirit to where she's working two jobs. And not only is she working two jobs, but she's taking care of her brother and sister who are almost pretty much teenagers on her own. You know what I mean? So I ask y'all to pray that she continues to keep her strength up and keep smiling, and that God keeps her from getting down and depressed, and that God comforts her. She's a great friend. I've known her for years, You know what I mean? All right, Tiff. Just letting you know I love you and I'm praying for you. And the next person her name is Crystal Puga Laos. She had just got married to a lucky man named Tony Laos, and I've known her for a little over a year, and she's had a sickness or an ailment this whole time, and I never really knew, you know. And I ask y'all to pray for her that God keeps her strong, keeps her spirit up. She's so strong. Like I said, I didn't even know it. And a lot of times, her and Tiff, when I went through a rough time in my life, you know what I mean? Both of them were there for me. So I'm asking y'all to pray for them. And a new friend I just met, her name is Sarah King, another strong young lady who's having family issues. You know what I'm saying? I ask that y'all pray for her, keep her in the prayers that God comforts her and keeps her strong, and brings her peace. But anyway, now let's get to it. You know what I mean? The devil's 10 commandments. Now, I know y'all asking, you know what I mean? These devil's 10 commandments, where did they come from? I've never heard of the devil's 10 commandments. Well, I was running across, there was a woman named Alice A.Bailey. Alice A.Bailey. She lived in the early 1900s. She started a publishing company called Lucifer's Publishing. Lucifer's Publishing. After a couple years, they just cut it short to Lucis Trust. And guess she written many books on Satanism. She was a follower of Madame Blavatsky, who's a well-known Satanist priestess. Now, guess where Lucifer's Publishing's headquarters can be found to this day? Okay, you guess wrong. It's the United Nations building. Lucis Trust is located in the United Nations building. Now, they know full well that this used to be called Lucifer's Publishing, and nowadays, to this day, can be found in the United Nations headquarters building. They sit in on the United Nations sessions discussing world views. They have input on these things. Well, anyway, but don't take my word for it. Look it up for yourself. YouTube it, Google it. Matter of fact, Lucis Trust has its own website. When you look it up, www.lucistrust.com, look at the address and it will tell you something Manhattan. I'm not sure about the address of the United Nations building, but it is located in the middle, smack dab in the middle of the United Nations building. Now, knowing all this, why would they have Alice A. Bailey's Lucifer's Publishing located in the United Nations building? Well, think about it. Don't people usually like to keep their spiritual leaders close? Just something to think about. But this is also even more. I was coming along. She wrote a book called The Destiny of the Nations, Volume 2, Discipleship in the New Age. Now, in some of her writing, she came up with 10 strategies. She wrote 10 strategies on how to make our society a Luciferian society, how to make our world a satanic world, basically. And these 10 strategies, I'm about to read you these 10 strategies. Now, and I want you to ask and I want you to tell me, is our government following her 10 strategies on how to make our society a Luciferian society, or are they following God's 10 commandments? The devil likes to mirror match God in everything, for he wants to be worshipped as God. Now, let's see which ones our government is following. Even though I'm already gave the clue away, her headquarters is located in United Nations building. But let's get to it. The first strategy number 1, she wrote. Now remember, she wrote this in the early 1900s, and you tell me which one our government is following. Strategy number 1: Push God out of the schools. If people grow up without reference to God, they will consider God irrelevant to day-to-day life. You can't even pray in schools nowadays. If a child is blessing his food in schools, they will tell that child to stop, that they can't do it. They even took God out of the Pledge of Allegiance, like we all know. Number one. Number two, break the traditional Judeo-Christian family concept. Break communication between parents and children so that parents can't pass on spiritual values to their children. Do this by pushing excessive child rights. A kid can go to school and say, my mommy beat me too hard, and they will have DHS at their door. What day and time do we live in where a father cannot discipline his own kids? Isn't that today? Number two, and let's don't forget the beginning of number two, break the traditional Judeo-Christian family concept. That the traditional Judeo-Christian family concept is man marries wife, y'all are a family. You make seeds, have family. Nowadays, what they consider a family, wife and wife can be family, or man and man can be family. They used to call it civil contracts or civil unions, and now they're just letting them get married, as we know from state to state. Number two, accomplished. Three, remove restrictions on sex. Sex is the biggest joy, and Christianity robs people of this. People must be freed to enjoy it without restrictions. We already know, ain't it? The motto of today is real talk, that it's okay to fornicate and do whatever you want to do, long as you wear protection, right? What do they teach in the schools? They teach in the schools safe sex and sex education. They don't teach abstinence. They should just teach the kids don't do it, but they teach them how to do it without getting each other pregnant or catching diseases. Basically giving the kids the okay to do it. Number four, man must be free to express sex in all its forms. Homosexuality, orgies, even bestiality are desirable so as long as no one is being abused or harmed. We already know the business on that. What they got going in Congress now, the don't ask, don't tell, and they trying to pass it. What she say? Man must be free to express sex in all its forms, even bestiality. Look at Family Guy. I remember on Family Guy when the dog was having an affair with the wife. Didn't nobody find that offensive. They found it funny. Like Chris Hudson, the Forerunner, like he once stated, you know, the devil, they make things like this funny, because like he said, if somebody is making you laugh, you ain't gonna see the smack coming. Do you know what I mean? They can make you laugh and then just smack you right behind the laugh. You won't see it coming. You be too busy laughing. Number five, people must be free to abort unwanted children. If a man can have sex and then live without the consequences, then the same should be true for a woman too. A woman must have the right to abort an unwanted child. And we know since Roe versus Wade, abortion has been legal in America. And now Obama, our president, who's a 33rd degree Mason, but anyway, Obama, our president, has just made it legal. Well, not made it legal, but just signed in the health reform bill that women can get abortions and their health insurance will pay for it. So now our government is paying for women and men to kill children. Now it can be paid for by the government, like food stamps. That's sad. But now we know why Obama put that in there. Remember, she wrote these 10 strategies in the early 1900s, and her headquarters is located in the United Nations building. Okay, number 6. Every person develops soul bonds. So when a soul bond wears out, a person must be free to divorce. When a soul bond starts to grow, one must be free to get together with that person even if they are married. What was one of the biggest shows in America? Number one shows in America? Desperate Housewives. You know what I mean? It's all right for people to have, affairs and do their thing on the side nowadays. Don't nobody see nothing wrong with it. It's online sites that you go to just to do these things with each other. Number 6, already Already done. And what they say about soul bonds, and what makes it so true, what the person says when they get caught in an affair, it's usually a friend. It's usually somebody they've known for a while that they created a soul bond with. Oh, it just happened. It just happened. Because you were giving that person the attention and time you should have only been giving your mate. Anyway, let's move on. Number 7. Diffuse religious radicalism. Christianity says Jesus is the only way. Diffuse this by A. Silencing Christianity, and B. Promoting other faiths. The creation of interfaith harmony. Ecumenicalism. Ecumenicalism. You know, what did Oprah say? YouTube it, where it says, just YouTube Oprah denies Christ, and you'll see her even get in an argument with somebody in her audience. She said, there's many ways to get to God. You don't need Christ. There's many paths. Christ is just one path. You can choose many paths. And Oprah is not the only one saying this. Even Joel Osteen will not say you can only get to God through Christ. YouTube that too. Type in Larry King interviews Joel Osteen. Type it in. Check it out. Don't take my word for it. Number 8. Use the media to influence mass opinion. Create mass opinion that is receptive to these values by using TV, film, the press, etc. What Western believers call normal in the African church would be called pornography. Our commercials, I don't want my 5-year-old daughter. Our stuff is so out there. You know, we even got people running around in their drawers in our commercials. I don't want my 5-year-old daughter looking at Michael Jordan in his Hanes drawers, or Derek Jeter in his drawers, you know. And, you know, it's crazy, but Africans and people in other parts of the world, you know, in third world countries, they consider our TV pornography when we consider it cable. Let's move on. Number 9. Debase art in all its forms. Corrupt music, paintings, poetry, and every expression of the heart, and make it obscene, immoral, and occultic. Debase the arts in every way possible. We see this done. I'm talking about ain't no song singing about loyalty. It's too many music for years have just been made about it's alright this to do. We can have this little affair on the side, or perfect example of an old hip hop song with Nelly. No matter what I do, all I seem to think about is you. Even when I'm with my boo, you know I'm crazy over you. That's singing about adultery. Even when I'm with my mate, I'm thinking about somebody else. It's crazy, yo. Even I like that song. And it hit me till I got older. Like, hey, she's singing about cheating. But don't they all nowadays sing, rap about cheating and partying? What's that song? I woke up and getting drunk in the bathtub and wake up not remembering what you did last night, how many men you slept with. I do not want my daughter or my son listening to this stuff. Anyway, let's move on. Number 10. Check number 10 out, y'all. Get the church to endorse every one of these 9 strategies. Get the church to accept these principles and say they're okay. Then legal ground spiritually will be given for these values to get a foothold. People will be able to say, well, shoot, my church says it's okay. It's okay. Now think about it. These 9 strategies that she wrote out in the early 1900s, does not our churches nowadays in these last days say they're okay? They condone homosexuality. They say it's all right to have abortions. Well, you know that girls out on their own, it's all right to do that. Look at it. Look at these churches and compare. These 9 strategies. It's funny that the 10th strategy, she says, get the church to endorse them. And that way people can use the excuse and say, well, my church says it's okay. It must be all right. Y'all, it's crazy. But Jesus stressed it more in the last days than anything. He said, be ye not deceived. Be ye not deceived. Their headquarters, she wrote these strategies in the early 1900s. Her headquarters is in the United Nations building. Look it up. Lucis Trust. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. And then ask yourself, whose commandments is our government following? God's or Alice A. Bailey's? Be the judge for yourself. It might save your child.